And Dave Hannum, you could just run through the agenda. It's similar to like a planning commission meeting. So I just have a few slides set up that's kind of follows that flow.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm looking through it right now. So,
yeah. And we are broadcasting. You may begin anytime.
All right, thank you. Let the record show that today is Wednesday, September 29th, 2021. This is the City of Pinole Zoning Administrator meeting. I'm Dave Hannum. I'm the Planning Manager and Designated Zoning Administrator, and I'm calling this meeting to order. I want to at least give the public out there to participate in a public comment during the meeting. Members of the public may submit a live remote public comment via the Zoom video conference. They can download the Zoom mobile app from the Apple App Store or the Google Play, and then the list of the comments are on the page. You can send the email to me at dhannum@ci.pinole.ca.us, or you can use the raise your hand feature if you're connected to Zoom, or press star nine if connected via telephone, and then *6 to unmute when called upon. So that's kind of what we're doing that for the public, which is very similar to what the Planning Commission and the City Council has been doing. Basically, right now I'm going to the citizens to be heard, and basically citizens to be heard section. When the zoning, let's see. If there's anybody out there that has a comment or wants to comment on anything other than the agenda item that we have today, I'd be happy to take those.
At the moment, I don't see any hands raised. I don't see any attendees from the public, and I don't see any comments from the email so far.
Okay, and I don't see any online either. So we'll move ahead to public hearings, which we have one. And just to let you know, we're doing administrative use permits 2102 for Fishbone Outdoor Dining. So we're considering an administrative use permit for outdoor dining at Fishbone Seafood Restaurant located at 1514 Fitzgerald Drive. The applicant is Nathan Menard from Minarch firm out of Tustin, California, and the location of the project is located at 1514 Fitzgerald Drive. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the applicant to kind of explain the project and what we're doing, and we'll go from there. So is the applicant?
Yes, I'm here. Dave, do you have our drawings? There
yeah.
We go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is very straightforward. When looking at the plan, I didn't show in here that the square columns, or the columns that's basically the outline of the cover. That was one of the plan check comments. I didn't designate the canopy cover walkway, but we're showing the path of travel going underneath that to the front door. I know that was one of the concerns. And we've moved all of the seating outside of that area. And then we also showed the existing landscape. So the bubbled area there is the revision from our initial submittal based on the plan check comments that we received.
So you have no tables up against so all those tables that are against the door, you're still including those as well?
Yes, because they're not impeding in the path of travel. We still have a 6-foot distance between the edge of the table and the column.
So right now, yeah, I'm kind of looking here. The question I had was on the path of travel. So I'm assuming the squares are the landscape boxes.
The gray square, the large gray square, that's landscape, as well as I can't do a plan. Is there a way that you can? allow me to point?
I want to do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to.
Oh yeah, request control. There we go. You see my corner? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with the. Oh, there. You go. All right. Can you see my pointer?
Yep.
Okay, so this is from the main path of travel going to the front door. That is for ADA compliance. And then right here is a 6 foot plus dimension from the edge of the column to the edge of the table, showing that we're not impeding in that required width of travel. And then this is a plus. I think that was like 8.7. This is our landscape area, existing landscape area. And then we put these seats out here. So these seats would be out in the open. These are actually undercover. These two here between the columns would still be undercover. These would be out without shade in this area. But we want to keep these so that we at least had folks that would be able to dine in the shade or out of the rain.
So these are the. Is that me? Is that my arrow? Oh, you can't see my arrow. So I guess the chairs that are closest to, not the ones that are on the window, but the closest, the next set.
These three?
No, the two.
These right here. These.
So you're saying
yes.
those are underneath the. Those are underneath.
Yeah, the canopy will be right here on the outer edge of these columns. Oops, don't mention out of these columns.
Right. Okay. So that's right. They're the columns for the canopy. Okay. So those will be underneath that. The distance, and it's hard to read. Does that say 6 feet between the table and the?
Yeah, it's plus 6 feet. These two. Yeah, this dimension here, and then this is 8'7" or 9'7".
Okay, so people will be walking here, coming across here.
Yeah, this is basically your path of travel. Would not impose a problem the way that we haven't seen it.
Okay. Okay. Then you've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tables. Are you serving alcohol?
No.
Do you serve alcohol on the inside?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Abe, are you applying for ABC license?
No.
Okay.
No alcohol at all.
Okay, good.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking that is because that would totally change the whole aspect of of what this looks like. And that's something that in the future, because I always am looking ahead in terms of future uses. Because I can tell you right now that if and when one day you decide to do use alcohol, that configuration it's going to be a whole different. You won't be allowed to do it outside.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
Unless there's a full changing of how it goes. Now these tables are bolted down.
No.
So they're going in and out during the day.
Yes.
They're only going to be there at the time of the business is open.
Correct.
Okay. So no alcohol. 2 tables, chairs. Go back in store. Only there when open. What are your hours right now?
Abe, can you answer that?
Right now, I'm not too sure, really. I have to talk to Baron, who is the Fishbone representative, to find out, what time to open and what time to close. And I believe that we will not go any longer than any of the other restaurants that are close by. There are a few restaurants that are close by, and I'm pretty sure it'll be around 8 or 9, one of them.
Okay.
8 or 9, or maybe during the summer it may go all the way to 10. I don't know what time they have there, so. But we'll find out later on.
Okay. Okay, so
On our cover sheet, we are showing 11 a.m. to 8 p.m.
11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Okay.
That's the standard hours of most restaurants.
where's that at?
It's on our cover sheet on the CS, the very first page. It'll say hours of operation.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Employees work for shift. Okay. 11 to 8. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. Okay. Trying to think what else. Path of travel. There's no you're kind of in the middle of all these shops, right? I mean, where the Fishbone is.
It's right adjacent to the Lucky's.
There's not a dental office between you.
No,
So you're taking up both of those shells, okay?
no, it's just one.
Now, there is a dental office, but it's closer to the to what you call Lucky's. There is Lucky's,
Right.
the dental office, and then there is the pizza place. I forgot the
Mountain
name of
Mike's?
that pizza. Mountain Mike's, yeah.
Okay.
And then
you
we right next after Mountain Mike's.
got- Okay. Okay, so okay. Yeah, that path of travel is going to be key. You have 6 feet 1 inch. Is that about right?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's only where the column is.
Right. Right, but it's where the columns is, but you're also, even though the tables aren't, I mean, they're standard probably 4x8s or whatever tables, or it's probably smaller than that, 4x4s. You're still encroaching from that side as well. So you're encroaching. So if you didn't have anything out there from facing path of travel, it would approximately be about 10 feet from the wall to the landscape area. Is what I'm thinking. Those tables are what, 2x2s?
Yes.
So, all right. Okay. Well, here's what. After looking at it right now, and I'll put it up against the code, make sure the path of travel and all that kind of stuff is that. I'll have a ruling on it by next week. I don't see very many. I think you've got all the issues. I mean, we might want to push those tables back maybe a little closer to the landscape area, just to give as much room as we can. But I know you might have halfway in, halfway out over the canopy.
That's
But since the tables are movable, I mean, you're not locking them in. I mean,
right.
I would want them to be pushed up against the landscape area kind of as much to kind of keep that wide, keep that wider. And the only reason why I'm asking that is because there is a wider, even though there's always an assumption when you go through these things, at least has been my experience is that it just, there's people are, and even though there's only, I'm assuming these are for tables of 2 or tables of 4.
Table for 2.
They're all tables of 2?
Yeah.
Okay. That sometimes these tables, when they're not when they're not screwed in, they tend to move in different places in the because no one puts them in the exact place at the exact, you know what I'm saying? And so there sometimes gets that. Not to say that I necessarily want them tied down, but we just need to make sure. I would rather have, instead of kind of out in this middle, as close to the landscape, so I know that one, if I go by there and look, the tables are, and since it's I mean, I don't say temporary, but it's but they're movable at the time. Are the ones up against the wall? Those are movable as well. Those
Yes.
are all okay. So everything gets moved inside. So really, you're only going to have one table on the inside,
Yes.
and basically all of your seating is going to be on the outside.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I would just make sure that because I don't know how much space you have between that and the planter, but we might to get them as far apart as we can.
Probably another 18 inches. So.
Okay, so yeah, another 1.5 feet. So that yeah. Okay. That's probably the only thing, because like I said, just it gives you sure.
Yeah, it's pretty much almost the same as the way we had it. It's almost the same as the restaurant, the Asian restaurant on our left side. They also have tables there. So, and when I pass by, it doesn't obstruct anybody, any individual. So.
No, but what I'm saying is that this 6 foot, because the tables are movable, sometimes when you put them out, when you put them out, and it's not because of anything anybody does purposely or whatever, but they either get tired of moving it all the way out to there, or they all of a sudden these tables will get closer and closer and closer. So what I'm saying is that we'll probably have a condition on there that says that they have to be as wide as possible, which would take you to the landscape. Will take you up almost to the landscape area, so that your employees and that when you take these tables out, they've got to go up against the wall and they've got to go up against the landscape area. Because if they're only 2x2s, it just gives you that wide area. And I don't know, does that Chinese restaurant, do they have I don't think they have an outdoor dining permit. Do they, Justin?
Yes, they do.
They do. They have one. Okay, they must have.
I've seen chairs outside.
Well, just because they have chairs outside doesn't mean they have an outdoor dining permit.
They used to have a canopy there. I don't see it anymore.
Okay.
Dave, I think that condition's very acceptable, and that would help us. If that can help us move forward, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal, but I mean, but I think that we just on those tables that are those tables that are.
So we'll adjust everything. We could adjust all of it. We'll move the whole grouping that's not against the wall. We'll just move that whole grouping of 4, so that because we could still move the other ones a little further as well, so that they're away from the ones that are between the columns. So I'll just move all of them the same amount, dark on the page,
Okay.
or just give us the condition. If I don't have to change the drawing, that's great.
Yeah, no, we'll just give you the condition. No, I'm not looking for you to change the drawing and resubmit the drawing. So
Okay.
we'll put a condition on there that will establish the distance between the tables.
We appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. So that's all I have. I mean, unless you guys have any other questions or.
I'm all good.
Okay. So yeah, okay. So I'm probably. It looks like that I'm probably going to approve it with conditions, and I'll be able to get that to you probably next week, with the conditions.
Appreciate it.
It is a public hearing. We need to open it up to public comment. So Justin, do you have any public comments?
No, I don't see any public comments at this time.
Okay, and I don't see any either. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't see any either. Okay, so I'm going to close the public hearing. And so with that, we'll get you that approval letter next week with the conditions of approval, and then other than that, that's all I have. I mean, there is no old business, there is no new business. I mean, I can move straight to adjournment at this point of the meeting, and we'll go from there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem. And we'll get this going. And actually, I will have to say, you guys are our first zoning administrator meeting probably in about, I don't know, 5 years. So
Welcome back.
So yeah, so I mean, before I got here, so yeah, so anyway, so I'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting right now, and at this point, and then yeah, so I would look for a letter from us, probably sometime midweek next week, and go from there.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the day.